why ego can actually be bad in business. Ego is a multifaceted thing, and there are aspects of it that you need to be a good business person. But there are bad aspects to ego as well. For example, that arrogance, that some people have an inflated sense of self-belief, the child having a little paddy in the corner of the supermarket because they don't get what they want. That type of ego can put a business owner out of touch with reality, by which we mean that they're not receptive to any criticism. And of course, if you can't take criticism and you don't listen to feedback, you can't actually improve your product or service. Something people complain about with millennials is this sense of entitlement that's happened, and that is ego driven. This belief that we deserve better than we have in life. While that might spur us on in some ways in business, if it is a belief without action, it will hold us back and make us a sulky child. It makes you more dependent on external validation, that you need people to praise you, whether that's your clients or whether that's people on social media. You need that validation from what you do and who you are. If you know that you have some negative qualities to your ego, how do you overcome it? Well, the first one is to focus on doing something rather than being somebody. So when I get slightly jealous, and I do, of my contemporaries' follows and likes and video views on social media, I have to remember that that's that praise seeking, attention seeking, slightly entitled, I'm as good as them, why don't I have the following of them behavior and attitude. And if I just keep focusing on my business, the service I provide for fitness professionals, the products that we have available in our shop, and make those the best that I can, then I'm serving a much greater cause than my own inflated self of self-importance. Leads to another way that you can overcome this negative ego, is to actually focus on effort. So in other words, instead of constantly trying to reach the end goal, which might be an entitled goal, a bigger house, a better holiday, a better car, you focus on the actual thing that you do and you put as much effort as you can into it. That's something I'm pretty proud that we do, is that we know that every single service and product that we put out is the best that we can possibly do. That's not just me, that's the whole team. I'm super proud of the fact that we're not always focusing on the end goal, we actually focus on the thing in hand. And some of our products are more popular than others, and you can take those blows because your little self-ego kick comes from the thing you've created rather than any other external value that it may or may not have in the business world. The other thing to do is to focus on others. If we spent our lives and everybody we met, we asked how we could help them, rather than look at every relationship from what I'm going to gain out of that relationship, and we just genuinely ask people, how can I help you? How are you struggling? What can I do? We would actually not only become amazing problem solvers, because we would be presented with a range of problems. We don't just meet other fitness industry professionals in everyday life, we meet a lot of different types of people. So we would become these amazing problem solvers, but we would also be building up this goodwill bank of people who we've helped to then have goodwill towards us. So should we ever need help or ask for help, they are more willing to remember how you helped them and help you back. That's if your ego doesn't get in the way of you asking for help. Obviously, not all ego is bad. It helps drive us, it gives us goals, it gives us motivation. But when you see yourself looking at others' Instagram because they've got 10,000 followers and you've got 3 and your best friend and the dog, when you find yourself constantly pushing other people on their deadlines to you, That's saying you value your time more than you value theirs. That's the bad, destructive ego that makes us very selfish and has an inflated sense of self-worth and entitlement for what we want from life.